in South Africa says it is closely coordinating with South African maritime authorities to support ongoing efforts to locate missing crew members of the Nigerian tugboat Leo. One person died, 5 remain missing, and 12 other crew members were rescued after their boat capsized due to a technical fault compounded by water turbulence. And for more on this development, we are joined on the line by Nigeria's acting High Commission to South Africa, Alexander Temitope Ajayi. High Commissioner, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on Africa Update.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Now, are you able to provide more specific details about the technical fault reported to have caused the vessel to capsize, and whether preliminary investigations suggest any mechanical negligence or regulatory non-compliance?
Thank you very much. At this stage, I might not be in a position to actually confirm or to give you details about the ongoing investigation, just for the reason that the investigation into the accident is still ongoing, and every other agencies involved are actually working around the clock to unravel what might have caused the unfortunate incident.
And what information has been established about the weather and sea conditions, at the time of the incident? And to what extent did water turbulence contribute to the tragedy? Do you have any of those details?
Yeah, absolutely. What we have right now is that the boat ran into very troubled weather, and that the turbulence was very intense and chaotic, as at the time they were caught within it. So what we can say for now is that turbulence played a greater part in the accident, because the weather condition was found to be very, very terrible as at that time that the accident happened.
And how is the Nigerian High Commission coordinating operationally with the South African maritime authorities in the KwaZulu-Natal province, just in supporting, the search and rescue efforts for the 5 crew members who are still missing?
Thank you. I've been here in Port Elizabeth since Monday. Immediately, I got wind of the development, and I must use these very important occasions to thank the South African Maritime Authority, particularly the Minister of Transport, Mrs. Barbara Creasy, who has personally reached out to me over this unfortunate incident. They've been very up and doing when it comes to that. They reached out to me as early as Monday morning, and I had to flew to Port Elizabeth as I immediately and met the surviving crew aboard the Singaporean ship vessels that rescued them. And I also want to use this opportunity to extend our thanks to the Singaporean government through the ambassador in Pretoria for the timely intervention and the support given by the ongoing vessels destined for Singapore, who happen to be who happen to respond to the distress call from the crew, and did all they could to rescue the 12 that we have now. As I said, I've been here coordinating very seriously with the South African Maritime and Safety Authority. We've been able to stabilize the crew. Medical emergencies have been applied on them, and they are in stable condition right now. And we've been working around the clock to ensure that we attend to remaining issues around it. And I can confirm that the crew, they are in good spirit now, and they should be ready to leave for Nigeria by tomorrow morning.
And what are the surviving crew members saying with regards to, what exactly unfolded, and for that until that point where they were able to be assisted by the Singaporean crew?
What's from the information we could gather from them, they ran into the troubled waters at about 18 nautical miles off the coast of Durban. That was on Saturday morning, Saturday night, exactly 19:00 hours in the evening of Saturday. Although they mentioned as well that the weather condition had been very terribly bad since the very morning of that day. And it was likely because of the fact that the weather affected them so much so that the tugboat lost all the all the equipment, and the water started gushing in, and that is what we have for now. But I think the South African Safety and Maritime Authority are really putting investigations into that. So until that investigation is out, we'll not be able to give you exact details, because they are also very traumatized, as at the time they were given a bit of what happened.
Now, High Commissioner, what is the immediate assistance the consular support is giving in terms of support to the families of the crew member who lost his life and the 5 that are still missing? In terms of communicating with the families and just continuous updates. Can you just bring us in and just let us know what they're feeling and what their reactions are?
Right now, the series of meetings are being held with the families in Lagos. The government is actually on top of it. All the families have been identified, and they are being cancelled. In terms of psychosocial therapies are being applied on them, and many of them are being given up-to-date information. As I said, I've been here and I remain here to up to the end of the whole problems, to see that we provide the real-time information that the family might need, and to also ensure that we tried as much as possible to attend to their feelings and their welfare. And concerning the crew that are here, the 12 surviving one, immediate assistance have been provided to them in terms, because they lost everything into the accident. They've been given new clothing, medical daily needs, and everything has been provided for them, and they are well settled in an hotel in Port Elizabeth. Right now, as I said, they with the immigration to do necessary documentation that will facilitate their departure to Nigeria. So, in short, there has been, real-time communication with the families, and again, we've been also attending to their needs, both in Nigeria as well as here in Port Elizabeth.
Well, High Commissioner, thank you so much for joining us on Africa Update. We are going to leave it there for today.
Thank you so much for having me.
That's Nigeria's Acting High Commission to South Africa, Alexander Temitope Ajayi, joining us on the line.
Stay tuned.